I've come to the conclusion that if you want to be wealthy, don't study money, study consciousness. That's the mistake I made myself. And I can prove to you that what you really need to study, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to retire early, if you want to fulfill your purpose, if you want to have the abundance to fulfill the purpose for which God placed you here, you need to study consciousness. Please type it in the comment section. Consciousness. Because before this time, everybody has been telling you to study money. And if you look at the books behind me, many of them are actually talking about money. And it's good. It's important. You need to read about money because you need to understand how money works. You need to understand the mechanics of money. But I tell you, it's more important to focus on consciousness, to study consciousness. That's where money comes from. Okay, money doesn't come from money. Now, so let me explain to you why you need to study consciousness. You need to stop studying money. Because for the past 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of your life, 60 years of your life, the conversation that has dominated your experience, financially speaking, is money. It's money. Of all the seminars and workshops and coaching programs you've attended, how many of them actually have talked about consciousness? They teach you about money. You go for Bitcoin conference, they teach you about money, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. You go to stock market seminar, the people there are talking about money. You go to real estate seminar, it's about money. But how has that helped you? If you've ever made money through those things, it was by consciousness, even though you did it without knowing that that is what was happening. So I made lots of money working for Shell. I was earning a lot of salary at the time. In the late 90s in Port Harcourt, I could have bought real estate. I could have bought land because there were lands, plots of land in the outskirts, in Eche, in Obibo, going to Obibo area, and some other places, similar places, that were going for literally peanuts. In fact, if you had 15,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 at the time, you could buy land in some of those outskirts or remote locations. But today, you may not be able to get some of those places for 100,000, 150,000 naira. So I had the money. But why didn't I buy assets? Why didn't I invest in real estate? Why didn't I even buy stocks? Because it was not in my consciousness. It was not in my consciousness. Consciousness is so powerful that if you move people from Makoko, Makoko was where I squatted. It's a slum. It's one of the most famous slums in the world. Slum in Nigeria. I think there's another one in Kenya, Nairobi. They call Kiboki. If you're in Kenya here, please just type the right comment, the right spelling. In that Makoko, as a graduate, after my youth service, looking for work, I knew what living life below, like we're not even talking about human level now, like below subhuman. It was really bad at the time. You wake up in the morning and put your legs on the floor and it is water. Okay, so somebody has told us, yes, in Kenya, it's Kibera. Yes, correct, Kibera. Yeah, so Makoko, maybe Kibera is even more advanced than Makoko, possibly. Now, so as bad as that slum is, if you move people from Kibera to, what's any beautiful city or beautiful place in the US I've been to? San Diego used to be really beautiful, but it used to be my favorite city in those days, but I'm not sure San Diego is what it used to be. So let's just say, because everybody knows Washington, so let's just say we move people from Kibera to Washington and then move the people. We just evacuate everybody in Kibera and move them to Washington. And then we evacuate everybody in Washington, not the state, the city, and Washington, D.C., and move them to Kibera. Give them 5 years. Kibera will become Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. will become Kibera. Because wealth is not in the environment, it's in the consciousness. So this is why it's important that you study consciousness, not money. And I'm going to tell you how to make that happen. You see, many of us have struggled with money literally all our lives. So I meet people and I work with people in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s who are having bitter struggle with money. So imagine a 60-year-old person like me. If it was about money, 60 years is enough to figure it out. But why? Why? Are you 60? Are you 45 or 35? And in 40 years, you've never figured out money. Can't you slow down and know that something is wrong? And many of us never crack it until we die. Many people never crack it until they die. Just live your whole life baffled by this whole issue of wealth. And because of it, at the end of it, it's just 2% of the population. 2% of the population, maybe 5%, who have this pleasant experience in the planet, working with abundance in time, abundance in relationships, abundance in finance. Maybe just 2 to 5% of people. And the secret of the 2 to 5% is not money, it's consciousness. See, Andrew Carnegie, the Elon Musk of his time, the wealthiest man of his time, says something I found very, very powerful. I can't quote him exactly right now. I need to look it up. But where he started, he said that where he started, he was the richest man. So just think about what Elon Musk is today. He said that he's broken the back of lack or poverty forever. Forever. And that the key for him to be able to do that was that he took possession of his own mind. As you're watching me, just touch. Well, the mind is actually all over your body, but they tell us that the brain is the epiphenomenon of the mind, but your mind is in every cell. Your mind is not located in any particular part of your body. But just tap this place as I'm tapping right now. Just tap it for effect. You see. All the wealth you will ever make in your life is here. And then it's the epiphenomenon of consciousness. So many people never calm down or slow down to take possession of their minds, to actually take ownership, accountability, responsibility for what's going on in their mind. And it's so particularly bad today because the destruction of devices is epidemic. Destruction of devices. There are people that cannot keep their hands off their devices, off their smartphone for 10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes. Even when they are sleeping, they fall asleep holding their phone. It's terrible. It's terrible. You've not taken control of your consciousness, of your mind. And so, every moment of the day, you're being fed. Your mind is being passively fed. And most of the time is junk content. It's not even intentional feeding of your mind and of your consciousness. And then we wonder why we struggle with money. Now, so if money could sort you out and you are 40, have you ever sat down to ask yourself, why haven't I figured out the issue of money? In my 40 years of life, in my 50 years. And yet, 10 years is more than enough to figure out money. But why haven't you figured out money? Because you're studying money. You're not studying consciousness. And consciousness is really what you should study. So if you're broke, if you're stuck, if you're spinning on your wheels financially, it's not because you haven't studied money or that you haven't even handled money. You handle money every day. It's because you haven't studied consciousness. So money is not the root of wealth. This is why it's important to teach our young people. Because the craze for money is making them do all kinds of things. So at the end of it, they are cash rich, but soul poor. Soul poor. I was sitting by some of those young people. I went to a car wash just a few weeks ago. And I was sitting by some of those very young people in their late teens and then early 20s. So they came with their flashy cars to also wash their car there. And they had all the trappings of the so-called Yahoo something in Nigeria. When you see them, you know. And they were actually at the corner where we were waiting for our cars to be washed. They were smoking something that smelled like it wasn't normal. They were smoking and sniffing. So you could tell that those young men are cash rich, because for them to be able to buy the kind of car that they came to wash at the car wash, so they do all kinds of diabolical things and whatever. But I can never trade my life from what I saw with those boys. They were constantly on their phones, scrolling their phones, smoking that thing. And then the few moments that they would actually communicate, the quality of that communication, was, the quality of the communication, the quality of things coming out of their mouth. So people can be cash rich and soul poor because they haven't given attention to their consciousness. I don't know how to help this generation, but to just keep on, because this is what somebody is not teaching these young people. So money is not cash. Money is not what you have. Money is who you are. Wealth, rather. Wealth is not what you have, wealth is who you are. Please, can somebody type that in the comments? I would like everybody to type it. I would like some engagement. Okay, I'd like some engagement. Type it. Wealth is not what you have, is who you are. And that's why this conversation on consciousness is so important. I'm not sure why this stream appeared in my feed, but you seem real chill and kind, so keep it up. Thank you. That's kind of you. Thank you. Folashade said, wealth is not in the environment, yes, but in consciousness. Absolutely. Because that's why, like I explained, that's why a wealthy person will be thrown into a strange country. No money, no friends, nothing. And within 1 year, he will rebuild his wealth. Because wealth is who you are. It's not what you have. But you see, these people who make money in very fraudulent ways, the politicians who steal their states, their constituencies, their counties, their local government, their states dry. Have you noticed that if you remove them from that politician thing, they fall sick, they become poor, and they die? This is why once they have tasted the blood money politics, they never want to go. Those of you in Nigeria know what I'm talking about. They start from House of Rep. From House of Rep, they become Speaker. From Speaker of Rep, State Assembly, they become Governor. From Governor, it's not enough. This time, they've spent they've spent 16 years already in government. And after 16 years as deputy governor or local government chairman or something, after 16 years and 8 years of being governor, like after 16 years of stealing of massive money, massive wealth in the billions, it gives me chills to think about it. 16 years of massive stealing. It's not enough. You know what? So after governor, they go, they kill to do everything to become senator. Then after senator, like another 4-8 years, they become minister. If it was normal, wouldn't even 4 years of stealing have been enough to set these men financially free for the rest of their lives? Isn't 8 years of stealing as a governor, like in the billions? And some of them are paid a so-called security vote of 600 million a month, plus all kinds of things, plus all the things they do. The money of the state belongs to them. I'm talking about the Nigerian constitution. Wouldn't you have thought that after 8 years of such massive stealings, in the sometimes be up to hundreds of millions of dollars, that would have been enough to set these people free, financially free for the rest of their lives and their generations after them? No. And it's not about power. They say it's because they want to remain in power. But even if it is power, isn't 8 years of being a lord over people? Because the way I see these government officials, the arrogance, these people don't know that they will die. I mean, if you see them, they don't behave like they think that they will ever die. The words that come out of their mouth, the way they intimidate people with their presence, and then all these security personnel are around them, and they walk on red carpet, they shove you away because they are coming. Somebody shoved me away. They shoved me in public the other day. Why? Because some guy, I don't know who the hell that guy was coming, just shoved me. Wouldn't 8 years have been enough? Do you know why it's not enough? Because wealth is not what you have. These politicians have hundreds of millions of dollars stashed away in foreign places Stashed away also, you've seen millions of dollars in cash hidden in houses, politicians' houses. You've seen that. And yet they're not financially free. Why? Because wealth is not what you have. Wealth is who you are. This is why if somebody who is genuinely wealthy leaves one place or country or has financial reversal, he just invests something and then all that investment goes. Like I did, lost all our savings as I was leaving Shell. The equivalent of over $100,000. So some people lose their money, and because they are not wealthy, they go into depression. But when wealthy people lose everything they have, fire burns down their house, their investments collapse, and then they come to, you know what they do? They wake up the next day and start all over again. Within 2 years, they are back. Haven't you seen it? That's what happens, to wealthy people. But these politicians, if something happens and then they leave power and they are not re-elected, that's it. That's the end of them. So that's not wealth. Is this helping somebody? Yes. Abbas Mohammed, wealth is not what you have, it's who you are. The Umar's family said, I was once spending like those young men before realizing that wealth is not what you have. Good for you. Good for you. Bonsoir, what is the most precious advice you will give to a 23-year-old about this awareness? Just keep listening because I'm coming to that, to how all these things connect for you. Because if you become truly wealthy, and wealth is not an amount of money. It's not an amount of money. And because I said that it's who you are, it's not an amount of money. The kind of contentment, peace, and joy that you actually have as a wealthy person. See, that's why a wealthy person does not need to live in big mansions to feel validated. These fake rich people who come to social media and then keep showing us their private whatever, they need validation. A wealthy person doesn't need validation. A wealthy person doesn't need to live in extraordinary mansion in order for people to know that they're wealthy. Look at one of the wealthiest men in the world, Warren Buffett. Many of you here listening know that this guy has been living in the same house that he bought. Somebody can check quickly and then tell us that when he bought that house. I think it was in the 1950s. The same house he bought in the 1950s. He's still living there. He doesn't have a house in Hollywood. What do they call this Hollywood place in Los Angeles? He doesn't have a place. He doesn't have a house there. He still lives in that same house in Omaha. Because he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. But it's all these fake rich people. They need to prove to the world. And you know how they prove it? They're using their cars, their flashy cars. Do you know why? Because these people think that wealth is what they have. If you take those things from them, take the car, take the mansion from them, there's nothing left. But a wealthy person does not need to prove anything to anybody because his wealth is his identity. And so it does not matter whether if he visits people and then they offer him a small 3x6 bed in their guest room to sleep, where they use candle or bush lamp or something. You see, he's still wealthy in that house. Because I've gone to places like that, and then that's what they gave me to sleep in. It didn't take away, who I am. I have been carried before in a very limousines before, from the airport to the hotel. Great drive. Limo was waiting for me because my host planned it that way. I got into that limo. I didn't even know. The whole thing was so sophisticated. I didn't even know what to do there. The guy was telling me, okay, if you want this kind of music and all that, then there were drinks. If you pull up massive massive limo, and I was the only one at the back relaxing. Now, I have also been carried on the back of a commercial bike that in Nigeria they call Okada. When I was in the limo, was I a different person than when I was at the back of Okada, riding the back of Okada in another similar situation that I was invited for something? No, because wealth is not whether I'm in a limo. Wealth is not whether I'm in a five-star. So I do not feel differently in a five-star hotel than I feel in a one-star hotel. I have flown first class. Man, first class is good. You should put it on your bucket list. It's good. I've flown first class. Then I've flown the cheapest, the coach, the economy. Did it change anything? When I was in the first class, was I a different person than when I was in coach or in the economy class? No, because I don't attach my wealth to those things. I don't attach my wealth. My identity is not attached to the house I'm living in. My identity is not attached to the car I'm driving in. So I have a truck, a big truck, and it's usually, I find it extremely disgusting when people see me in the truck, the way they respond. I mean, they literally worship you when you are driving a big car. So I once drove into a gate with my big car, and then all those people, they were saluting, Sean sir, all this, whatever, this nonsense words that they use, chairman. Then one of them called man of God. I don't know, man of God. Started saluting. I parked the car, walked through the same place. There was no Sean sir, man of God. So it was the car, not me. So people worship the wrong things. Wealth is not what you have, it's who you are. Okay, Festus says that it was in 1958 that Warren Buffett bought that house. Can you imagine that? That is incredible. Yeah, but he's rich. And the guy walks into a McDonald's or somewhere, grabs the same, is it hamburger or something, and Coke that everybody's eating. Does it make him less wealthy? No, because wealth is not what you have, it is who you are. Okay, so money is not the real root of wealth. Understand this. Money is not the real root of wealth. Consciousness is. Because money does not come from money. Even the people tell you that. They tell you that it takes money to make money. And then on the surface, it sounds right, but it's a lie that many of us believe for a long time, and it kept us from becoming wealthy. So money comes from the mind that perceives, that creates, and organizes reality. I mentioned 3 verbs. Money comes from the mind that perceives, creates, and organizes reality. If you understand even this one, that's enough for tonight. Just what I've just said. Money comes from a mind that perceives, creates, and organizes reality. Because it's reality all over us. Everything that you see that you bought was organized by somebody. Somebody sat down and thought about, bottled water is a fairly recent phenomenon. Water being bottled. It's a fairly recent phenomenon. I'm not sure it's 100 years old. So somebody sat, perceived it, thought about the fact that when people go for conferences, they struggle for water. And I remember in those days, even in the 70s, when we went for camp meetings or conferences, there weren't bottled water. There wasn't even sachet water. I'm even saying 100 years. Like in this environment, the bottled water is a relatively new thing. So in those days, when we went for meetings in the early 70s, 73, 74, I still remember, they had pots, water pots, and we had plastic cups so everybody will be drinking from this simple. It wasn't even your cup, it's just common cups there, and then you just go, you take water from there. And then somebody sat down, perceived, It's better. We can make it more convenient. We can make it neater. We can make it more hygienic. And then somebody organized this reality that way. You take it for granted today, but it wasn't always there. Somebody perceived, created, and organized reality. And that's how money came out of providing this service. Okay. So we've been taught to chase money as if it is a god, to memorize budgeting formulas, to recite investment jargon, to hustle 18 hours a day, thinking that the more effort equals more wealth. But just look at your own life and ask yourself, how far? Look at the work you put in looking for money. Shouldn't 10 years have been enough? But you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're still in the same place. So, because if your consciousness is wired for fear, if your consciousness is wired for scarcity, for guilt, for shame, or unworthiness, a lot of us who feel it is not enough, the commonest struggle I find as a coach working with people, high people, low people, the feeling that they are not enough. Yeah, you work so hard, you're right. You work so hard, and then you lose everything. Not long ago, a man died, not far from where I am. The man died. He had a wife and a couple of children, and there was no money to bury him. And they called me. I was on the way, and they called me. This man has been lying in the house, and this guy worked all his life. He worked. I saw him every day. He was a hustler. He wanted to provide for his family. He was faithful. But he died and there was no money to bury him. And, so, because if your consciousness is wired with scarcity, it does not matter how much effort you make. It does not matter whether you put your hand in stock market or Bitcoin or Forex, everything you put your hand in crashes. And that's what people call village people. You are carrying the village people right here inside your head. Because something people don't know, especially many Africans, the witch outside cannot get you if the witch inside has not already prepared you to become a victim. Did you just get what I said? Because I think I've destroyed somebody's theology. The witch outside can never get you if the witch inside has not already finished the job. And what is the witch inside you? What's the witch inside you? Did you know that they said that a curse, causeless, shall not rest? Somebody type it. A curse, causeless, cannot rest. So what that means is that if you have not already cursed yourself, nobody out there can curse you. So if you've already cursed yourself, and you can curse yourself in many ways. The primary way many people curse themselves is they use their own mouth to judge themselves, to say terrible things about themselves. And you laugh. You call yourself stupid. You call yourself, oh, I'm dumb. Oh, nothing stays in this head. I'm a forgetter. And you are saying, you see, I am. You're using the words, I am. And then in joke, you be telling people, poor people like me now. Poor people, we are poor. Poor people like me. We can't afford that. I can't afford that. So you've already cursed yourself. See, because death and life are in the power of it. Many people don't understand the power of words. So that's one way we curse ourselves, with our own words. We use our own words to say, make I no die, I go die, or something. People. So I had this friend, every time that somebody cracked a joke in the WhatsApp group, she would say, I'm dead. And so when the curse to kill you comes, when the curse to kill you through an accident comes, you are gone. Why? Because you've already pronounced yourself dead. You thought it was a joke, but in the spirit, there is no joke. So whenever you say that I am, make sure that what comes after is exactly what you want for your life. Because you're going to get what you say. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So the witch outside cannot curse you if your own witch, this tongue, has not already cursed you. Another way that we curse ourselves, making it easy for the so-called village people, arrows from the village to get us, is through our iniquities, horrible things that we do. A few years ago, someone showed me where an accident had occurred, a fatal motor accident on the road. I won't mention the name of that town or city where it happened. The people, so I think there was some kind of multiple collisions, and then the cars were flung off the curbs into the bush. People were bleeding, crying for help, bleeding blood everywhere. Some already died. And the youth of that village, of that community, went there and started robbing the dying passengers. They started collecting things from their bags, collecting money, taking their purses. At another community, they are violating little girls. As young as 3 years, 6 years old, you violate a little girl carnally, a little child that is 3 years, 4, 5, 6 years, because they told you, or your court, taught you that if you do that with a young child like that, something will happen. Maybe if you had a disease or something, it will go, or something, or that child will, they have all these kind of terrible things. You do that, or you join a gang to molest a woman, then you forget. And then 3 years later, 5, you graduate. And then everything, some mysterious things are happening to you. You've forgotten that you violated a girl, you violated a woman. You've forgotten. But the spirit world does not forget. The thing is there, it's following you. And unless it's atoned for, you are finished. So you may even go to church and then, go for deliverance, go for all this power crusade. But you're carrying this, some people call it karmic load on you, on your head. Paul wrote in the 1st century, he said, listen, do not be deceived. He said, God is not mocked, that whatever a man sows, he shall reap. So many times when people cheat you or they do something horrible to you, don't even bother. This universe operates on the principle of perfect accounting. Whatever a person sows, they will reap. So don't even bother using your mouth to curse anybody. People curse themselves by the things that they do. You have a deal with somebody. You pay the person. And then in a gentlemanly something, it's done. You've paid. You even have the whatever. And then the thing comes up. And then the guy says, oh no, I don't know him. He didn't give me any money. He didn't whatever. And it happens. It happens. Then you lend your friend money. He is in an emergency. It comes to you, oh no, just give me this money. 3 days time, I will give you the money back. I will give it to you 3 days time. And then they even swear, I swear, 3 days time that I'm expecting this money, that my brother in America is sending $1 to me, but the dollar has not cleared or something, that in 3 days time it will clear and I'll give you back this money. Your friend. You now take money that you had left, you had put together to invest or do something or a project, and you take it and give to this your friend. 3 days, Where's the money now? Oh, no, no, just wait. Before 3 days have turned to 3 years. Has it happened to you? If it has happened to you, you just say, happened to me. You gave somebody money. Somebody you trusted. He said, oh, just give me this money. I'll give it back to you in 1 week, in 3 days. 3 days have turned into 3 years, 5 years. Now, he not only doesn't pick your call, but when you mention that money, he becomes angry. My friend, leave me alone. Am I the only person owing money? Are you the only person that has been owed? Meanwhile, the scripture said that the wicked borrow and they never pay back. Now, that person now, when a witch in the village throws that arrow, will it catch or will it not catch? It will catch. It will. Not because it should, but because you already made yourself the kind of person that can be cursed. Yeah, look at the chart. It happened to me. It happened to me. Look at it happened to me. This one said, even from a pastor. Yeah, it happened. Yeah, very, very true. So, that's what is sabotaging many people. That is what is sabotaging many people. Many people should be wealthy. But all these things, they have all these very dirty stream of consciousness. Dirty things in their consciousness. Dirty things. Breaking faith. Breaking trust. Immorality. And people say it doesn't matter. They say it doesn't matter. After all, there are people who are doing this something trafficking. I don't want to say it, because of the algorithm or something. It's people who are doing this something trafficking. And they're making a lot of money. And they're looking comfortable. Who told you? Always remember that wealth is not what you have. It is who you are. So, yeah, they may be trafficking all those things and making lots of money and showing it to your face. Be wise. Don't envy them. Don't envy people. And you never know, as we have seen in recent times, the sources of the income. Create your own system. Face your journey. Be patient. Work your system. Develop yourself. Enlarge your consciousness. The money will be attracted naturally. You don't have to be envying people. You don't know the sources of their whatever. Recent headlines have been showing us people like one young woman. What did they call her again? Tech queen or something, that keeps showing off her flashy. I don't know her. After that, she was arrested, by FBI and all that. And it was, so people were hailing her. Model young woman, tech queen, flashy life, only to be arrested the other day that she had defrauded the American government over millions of dollars. And then God knows how many decades she's going to spend in jail now. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why not earn your $1,000 a month and have peace than earn $1 million a month and end up 40 years in jail? It's not worth it. Okay, so wealth is a mirror. Money is not a goal. Money is just a mirror. It reflects your dominant frequency. And your frequency consists of your beliefs, your expectations, and the identity that you live from. If deep down you believe that you are not enough, everything else, money will be playing hide and seek with you. Money is a spirit. If you like, you said there's a spirit behind money. So it does play hide and seek, depending on the frequency. And then you will always feel like money is running away. Okay, so you don't attract wealth by fighting for money. You attract wealth by becoming the kind of person who creates, multiplies, and manages value with ease. So this is one thing I want to emphasize before I answer the question. So what? Okay. So I want to emphasize again. I've been talking about that wealth is who you are, not what you have. So this is why, if you are the kind of person that attracts wealth, you attract it by becoming the kind of person who creates, multiplies, and manages value with ease. So if your source of income does not satisfy that process, you're creating, you're multiplying, and you're managing value, then it is questionable. And not just doing that, but doing it with ease. So this is a shift in being, not just behavior, and that is consciousness. Okay. So what should you really be studying? How do we bring this home? So that you don't study money, you study consciousness. How do we bring it home? So I was actually thinking about, how do I bring this home? Like, bring it down to you. I think that the greatest enemy of the 21st century is distraction. It's not Satan, no. It's not the devil. The devil is easier to deal with than distraction. When the devil comes, all I say, I just use the name of Jesus. He can't stand it. So he's easy to deal with. And he knows it. So he doesn't come as the devil. What does he come with? He comes with distraction. Your phone. Many people spend 8 hours, 10 hours a day on their phone. And they're getting out of phone to Netflix. They're getting out from Facebook to Instagram. They scroll all in one day. Then TikTok. So TikTok, like 3 hours. Instagram, 2 hours. Facebook, 2 hours. Then Netflix, 3 hours or even 6 hours. Up to 2 a.m. You're a dead person. You're a living corpse. You have no consciousness living like that, because you never really have time to think about your being. And reflection is the antidote to distraction. It's in my own life. Contemplation. At the moment, I'm committing to memorizing David's Psalm 119. I'm amazed the number of times he used that word, like meditate, contemplate. He says, I will contemplate your ways. He said, let the meditation of the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. And contemplation is dead in this generation. Because if you contemplate, your life will be very different. Many of us never even sit down to ask what's working, what's not working in our lives. When I turned 50, more than 9 years ago, I spent half a day. I haven't had a birthday because I wouldn't give myself, in terms of my purpose on earth, I don't give myself satisfaction. Nothing wrong with celebrating your birthday. I'm just talking about me. So what's there to celebrate? So hopefully when I turn 70 or 80, I might have something to celebrate. But right now there's work. There's work to do. There's work to do. So I spent half a day on my 50th birthday asking myself. So I start with my journal, and I asked myself 2 questions and journaled that day. So I said, Obo, what were the things that served you in the first half of your life that you're going to carry over into the next half of your life? I sat down, made the list, In the first half of my life, I read like crazy. There were phases of my life that if I didn't read 3 or 4 hours a day, I will fall sick. And it served me. As you can tell, listening to me, you can tell that this is a person who reads a lot. So I put that one down. My relationship served me. My marriage served me. My purity served me. There's no girl alive or dead anywhere in the world, and I've traveled some bit, that can come out today. I'm going to be 60. No woman, no female, anything, anywhere in the world that can come out today and say me too, for Obo, that I did anything with her or to her. It served me in 50 years. And so in the next 50 years, I cannot be stupid. This is not a time. If I didn't fall for a woman in the first half of my life, if I remained faithful to my wife, to whom I've been married for 30 years this year, in the first half of my life, why would I be stupid? Why would I be stupid in the second half of my life to do that? So you see, that's why I itemized all those things that served me, that I was going to export. So it's 9 years already since I did that exercise. And yeah, I exported them. I still read. I still value my relationships. I still value my parental heritage, amazing parental heritage. I still value my extended family, my siblings and then their families, all those things that served me in the first half of my life. Then I now said, what didn't serve me in the first half of my life that I must not carry over? I have certain things on that list. One of it was my relationship with money. I was financially, for the most part of my first 50 years on earth, I was financially stupid. And when I look back, God was so kind, had given me so much in 50 years that right now, there's no reason that my net worth, if I knew what I was doing with money, there's no reason that right now my net worth should not be over $100 million. But today is such a tiny fraction, 0.00000 something 1% of that, because I was stupid with money. They will pay me. I worked with the best paying organizations in the world. I worked with Shell, then Chevron offered almost 3 times what Shell was paying. I left Shell and went to Chevron. Shell came back and doubled what Shell was paying me after 6 years. And I went back to Shell, earning a lot of money, traveling the world. Now, when they will pay me, I will use it, and we're traveling for summer, using salary to go for summer. If I catch you, I made that mistake. You should not do it. If I catch you making that mistake, if I see you anywhere we are traveling and I see you in Frankfurt or Heathrow or JFK or or I see you in the Dallas airport and they say you came for vacation, and then I ask you, was it your salary or the dividends of your investment? And you tell me salary. I'll call the police on you. I'm telling you, I'll call the police to arrest you. And I'll tell them why, that I told you that was my mistake, and then you're repeating the same mistake. So, that is the power of a life that contemplates. Because if you don't sit down to reflect, you will continue to make the same mistake. Like Carl Jung says, if we don't make the unconscious conscious, it will ruin our lives, and then we will call it fate. And that's what's happening to a lot of people. Because you can't contemplate. You have no connection at all with consciousness. And so you keep repeating the same thing and wondering why you are in the same situation you were in financially 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Anyway, I think, yeah, yes, Kemi, yeah. I think I've touched on something, really I'm passionate about. And I hope that somebody's mind has been rewired tonight. So I have another meeting coming up. So we have to be drawing the curtain. And all I can say is, please do it yourself if you can. But if you need my help to rewire your mind and your finances, we have started recruiting for next month's financial fitness challenge. This current month is already fully booked. So the people who are joining now are entering cohort 7 of the financial fitness challenge. So the financial fitness challenge is my mentorship group, my paid mentorship group. And if you want to be part of it, the WhatsApp number and the instruction is in the description of this live video. So just go to the description, you see the WhatsApp number and the instruction to join, and then I'll be very happy to guide you and then provide you practical guidance to rewire your finances, especially if you're in the second half of your life. You know, if you're between 35 and 65, and even beyond 65. In one of the cohorts, we have a 76-year-old woman. She told us she's 76 and she's going to be 77 in November. We also have a 71-year-old. So it's not about age, it's about consciousness. And if you wake up at 65, you can achieve in 1 year what you haven't been able to achieve in the past 20 years of your life. That's the power of consciousness. I have earned in 1 weekend what Shell paid me in 2 years. What changed? Consciousness. Consciousness. And so if you want to join my paid mentorship group, you just pay once and you belong to that group forever. Go to the description and send WhatsApp message. Just say, send me payment details, early bird payment details to that WhatsApp number, and then you receive the payment details, and then you will join cohort 7, which is currently enrolling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are your aha moments today? So before we draw the curtain, type your aha moments. What were your eye-opening moments today? What did you hear today that has totally transformed your understanding? Please type it. Type it. And by the way, if you are here getting this value and you haven't subscribed to this channel, take the next 2 seconds right now and subscribe. Do it. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that whenever I'm online, you will get to know. So I come live on Facebook every weekday, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m., between 8 p.m. and 8:30 GMT. So if you don't see me at 8 p.m., you will see me at 8:15 p.m. If I don't come on at 8:15 p.m., you will see me at 8:30 p.m., but you will definitely see me. Sometimes traffic could hold me, sometimes there's a delay, sometimes there's just, what we didn't foresee. But I will always show up for the next, we are doing this for 1,000 days. I think we're almost like 300 days into the 1,000 days. All right, so always be part of it. And if you haven't pressed the like button and the love button, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do that right now. So while you share your aha moments with me. Uche Nebolisa says, my mind has been reset. Thank you. Elijah said, people do not understand the power and the blessing of being a faithful partner. Oh yeah, I can tell you that people don't. People just think, well, it's just on entertainment. They travel for business and then they sleep around, and it's like, okay, I'm not with my spouse, I'm not with my husband, so I can sleep with this person. And you think you just sleep with somebody and then that's the end of it. No, it's the beginning of something, because that thing is not just a biological transaction. It's a spiritual transaction. I'm telling you, you carry the piece of everyone that you slept with. You carry the piece of them, and it's not usually the best piece of them, because that thing was a very unclean transaction. So you're not getting the clean piece of the people. So some people sometimes, they just fall into depression. You see a woman who never was depressed, She was never depressed. She had a happy childhood. Then she slept with this person, slept with this person. Then all of a sudden, she's suicidal. She's always depressed. And she doesn't know where depression came from. Depression is not in her family. Whatever. You don't know. Yeah, because that thing is a spiritual transaction. So thank you for highlighting that. Isioma said, yes, I have planned to travel this year with my salary. I already saved for it. Please, what is the alternative? Isioma, if I catch you, if you travel with your salary, I'm going to flog you publicly. Invest it. The Nigerian stock market is exploding right now. Put it in there. And then in another 3 years, what it will gain in capital appreciation and dividends can now send you and your family to vacations. Not just one vacation, but several vacations. That's what I was supposed to have done. Okay. Festus says, you escaped the net of dining with women. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Priscilla Onyinye said, sir, I am happy that I came across your channel. You are unique and outstanding. Thank you for the life lessons you're sharing on this platform, as they're inspiring and empowering to me. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Your words are kind. Is this Sakina? Sakinat said, Professor Obo, I deeply respect you. You are indeed a great mentor. Thank you very much. That's a kind word. Deborah says, true talk of wisdom. Thank you. The Great African Shift says, salaries are for investment, not for holidays. I agree with you totally. Don't use your salary for vacation, says my sister, Maria. Okay. Brenda says, not going on vacation with salary is your aha moment. Kintoye says, my aha moment, money comes from the mind that perceives, creates, and organizes reality. Absolutely. If you want to make money, focus on perception, focus on observation, focus on seeing what people don't see, and then focus on creating, generating something out of value, out of reality, and organize it. Victoria says, how I wish I met you earlier. Not to worry. Not to worry. Everything will be okay. And then, so let me also put some words of grace here. It doesn't matter the mistakes we've made. It doesn't matter the mistakes you've made. Even if you've made all those mistakes I talked about, God loves you. He cares. He's willing to wipe it totally clean. Just get on your knees and talk to your Father, your God, and then tell him to wipe all those things. He will give you a clean slate. And then he says when he forgives, he forgets. He doesn't remember. Human beings may remember what you've done, but when God actually forgives and cleanses you, he does not remember. So whatever soul offenses and iniquities you've committed, like I mentioned, that may be haunting you and sabotaging you, don't go to bed tonight without atonement. Just get on your knees. God will give you the words to use for atonement for those things. And then you will stand up from your knees, totally new, forgiven, with a fresh clean plate. All right, Festus said, aha moment is destruction is the greatest devil of the 21st century. Absolutely. Brenda says, aha moment is memorizing Psalm 119. Yes. I think I'm on verse 20 now. I'm sure it's going to take me a couple of weeks or months, but it's changing my life. Stella says, my aha moment is wealth is not what you have, but who you are. Okay, that's Rich David's aha moment. Also, that the wicked borrow and don't pay back. So don't be the wicked. All right, Brenda says destruction is the enemy, not Satan. Absolutely. Satan is the enemy. He's using destruction and hiding himself behind destruction. Alex says salary should not be used for vacation. Yes, Alex, please. And do not let me catch you using your salary for the vacation. Invest it and let the dividends of that investment fund your vacation. You deserve a vacation, not just once. You deserve a vacation often. And then the only way to keep having vacation is to invest your salary so that you can multiply into the vacation. Adeoshu says, my aha moment was, you said the witch outside cannot get you if the witch inside has not prepared you. Exactly. Has not prepared you as a victim. And Sekinat also said that consciousness, reflection, and awareness, these are my aha moments. You are welcome. Falashade said, a wealthy person does not seek validation. Absolutely. And Victoria says, my aha moment is reflection is antidote to distraction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been such a pleasure having you tonight. And since this is Friday, I'm wishing you a very happy weekend, and I'm wishing you incredible blessings to you and to your family and to all your loved ones. Please make peace with yourself and make peace with everyone connected to you, and make peace with your family this weekend. Whatever happens, please do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. Do not live in guilt or regret, please, whatever happens. Yeah, because I tell you that the best is yet to come. And I also tell you that things are not always as bad as they seem. When you sit down to reflect, and then you start with gratitude, you will be amazed that the opportunities ahead of you are far more than whatever opportunities that they have been in the past. I love you. Whatever happens, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next. And I will see you in the very next video. God bless you.